Oh, good afternoon. Hi, Belle. Good morning. How you doing? Hey, BL. Hi, MHD. Hey, Jen B. How you doing? Hi, Spiros. No trades from yesterday. Nothing much at all. Looked like the euro dollar was gonna get interesting, but it didn't happen. Hi, 312. Nice to meet you too. Hey, Christina. How you doing? Hey, Yuri Fee. I think Yuri Fee. Yufi. Give it a couple of minutes as usual. So in the meantime, do help me out. Click that like, that thumbs up button on YouTube. Click that little rocket ship button on TradingView. And for everyone, we are streaming on trading.live as well. So if you are there, do click on subscribe. Click on the clapping button as well. I think that helps. Hey, Snow Rhapsody, good to have you. I hope that I will be sharing a good session as well. Hey, Edson, good afternoon. Again, guys, the link is there for all of you who are new to the session. The Discord channel link is there, so do make sure you join the channel, the server, the channel, the group. That's where we can take our discussion beyond this session. So whenever I see anything interesting, any possible setups, any news items that I'm reading, I think it might be quite useful, I'll share it there as well. All right. And we do have a whole bunch of very good traders, very friendly traders there to support you through your trading journey as well. 2 more minutes and we'll get started. You're here to learn how to make money. Well, we're here to share with you our daily market analysis, looking for some possible trade setups. Hopefully, that will make us some money. Again, it is the market, there is no guarantees, but we are looking for good trade setups. Alrighty. Hope everything's working okay. Looks like it's alright. Hey Gorju, hey Angel Case, good to have you again. Good to see you here. 1 more minute and we shall get started. If you're new to the session as well, do let me know where are you joining me from. Let me know where you're joining us from. I would always love to find out. Where are you joining me from? Hey Hisham, how are you doing? All right, let's get started. So again, a big welcome, big thank you all. For those of you who are new to the session, thanks for jumping on. Good to have you with us. For the regulars, you know I value you all so much for making your time to join me on this daily market analysis. This is the session where I share with you my views, my thoughts, my opinions on the fundamentals, the news that is coming up. Today, we do have Canadian CPI data to be released. That's the main one. And then looking at the technicals, looking at where price is, where price could head towards, we look for some possible trade setups, right? We look for some possible trade setups. But as we talk about possible trade setups, the usual disclaimer applies. Any information contained on this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material only. Please do your own due diligence because the contents of this webinar is not intended to be a recommendation to trade a financial product. Right? As much as we look for some possible trade setups, do make sure that it fits with your own trading methodology, your own trading approach. I tend to look for trend following scenarios. So if you like to look for counter trend trades or you look for scalping trades, might not fit, but you could use this session or the things we share during this session to align with your own analysis as well. Okay. Most of the trades or almost all the trades I look at or trade setups I look at here is on H1 time frame. It's really so that I do this session every day, Monday to Friday, just so that we have a trade set up valid until the next time we do this session, which is 3 p.m. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. GMT plus 8 tomorrow. Okay, that's why it's on H1 time frame. I do know that a couple of you have asked for longer term swing trades. I do share more. I'll intend to share more of that in the trading community. The link is there again if you haven't joined the trading community already. Okay. Also, please remember that your objectives, financial situation, and needs has not been considered, and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. Please don't jump into all the trade setups that we're looking at. This is not a session. This is not a signal session. All right, this is not a signal session. It's not one where you look at trade setup and you go, all right, buy order, sell order, buy order, sell order. Because if you do jump into all the trades, I can almost guarantee you that you will be over leveraged. You will be taking on too much risk. It's going to mess with your mental psychology. All right, so use this as a way to align with your own trading analysis. If you find some good setups, then something to watch out for. Is not a signal, is not a set and forget kind of approach. All right. Good morning, Buba. How are you doing? Hi, Ola. Good to have you. Hi, Jordan. Good to have you from South Africa. And hi, Kelvin. Good to have you too. Okay. And for all those people on, if you're joining us first time, I haven't been streaming on trading.live much, so quite new to that platform. You know, if you have, or if any of you have questions, trading related questions, please feel free to put it into the chat. Let me know if you want further elaboration, clarification, or any points. I'll be happy to do that. If you have a trade or previous trade setup that you were looking at, share that. I'll be happy to give you my points of view as well. Right? Any particular instrument, different currency pairs that you want me to look at, I'll do that as well. Okay. Short and sharp. Let's get to it. Ooh, why is it so small? Yeah. Let's do this back. Too tiny. Give me a second. Okay. Okay, straight away, Ron Petty with the gold analysis. I'll get to that. Okay. Focus. Oh. Right. Okay, so as usual, what I always do first off is I will look at the news first. So yesterday, just a quick review of what we saw yesterday. You know, prices didn't move too much. It pretty much no news event, no major news events. So we actually saw prices sit relatively across. We did have, this was yesterday, zoom in a bit. This was yesterday, it just sat right across all the way to this morning, the Kiwi dollar did shoot up a little bit. The Aussie did not trigger, so it did not drop down, breaking the support. Came back up to this level. I'll tell you more about that shortly. Just do a quick recap of this. The yen, again, as usual, did not drop, so it's bouncing back up. The pound dollar could be still valid, so we're still looking for that. Euro dollar, I'm not sure whether Robbie's on the session today, but we were talking about euro dollar right at that 1.09 level. Tried to break down. I said wait for the candle to close. Did not close below, did not trigger our trade, came back up. Now looking like it's pushing to the upside. US Swiss franc did come down to test the support, right, late in the evening on Monday before bouncing back up again. And then US CAD, I'll share with you more about that with the CPI data to be released. So you can see not a big price movements yesterday because we didn't see a lot of news events. Then on to today, again, we did have some data, but not major price movers, all the way to 8:30 GMT plus 8, where we do have Canadian CPI month on month. It was a 0.7%. It's expected to be 0.4. Median CPI year on year 4.2 to 4. Trim CPI year on year 4.2 to 3.9. It looks like we might see CPI, which is inflation growth data, slowing down, right? Inflation growth slowing down to that 4%, 3.9%, coming very close to that 2 to 3% target level for the Bank of Canada. So I think that if we do see this release, I'm not ruling out a surprise as well, okay? I'm not ruling out a surprise, but I do think that we might see it drop to that 4.0%, okay? And then you can see on the 16th of May, when it went from 4.5, expected 4.3, dropped to a 4.2. On the 16th of May, where was it? Right. Right there. About that. Okay. You can see that 16th of May at 8:30, right? So this is the 8 p.m. time. Zooming in, you can see that as the news got released, a slowdown in inflation growth on the Canadian side is going to signal, or is likely to signal to the Bank of Canada that it could pause, or it could continue to pause on its rate hike, right? So no further rate hikes from the Bank of Canada possibly, and that's why we see this drop, right? We see this drop. This was what happened the last time round. So we saw it drop before pushing back up again. I'm pretty sure this is because of that dollar strength. Okay, so we could see something similar in this situation tonight again. Okay, so I'll tell you more about that as we look at the Canadian dollar shortly. Okay, so we were looking for it to push up and then after that drop, but now that it's broken that support, we might see it drop further down. With that said about the CPI data, has inflation come down a bit? It's likely that inflation is going to signal that it's come down quite a bit, especially that trimmed CPI breaking below that 4% level. So this excludes, trimmed CPI excludes the most volatile 40% of items. Okay, so apart from that, for durable goods, I'm not too concerned. US consumer confidence looking like a little bit of a jump to the upside. It used to have some impact on the dollar. At this point, it hasn't seemed to have too much impact on the dollar in the recent times. So I'm not too concerned about the consumer confidence level data to be released at 10 p.m. GMT plus 8. Then on to tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. GMT plus 8, we do have the Aussie CPI year on year to be released. Right? CPI to be released, 6.8%. It's actually bounced back up, right? So it was a little bit on the downward trend. Recently bound on May 31st, bounced back up from 6.3 to 6.8. We might be facing a situation where the Aussie CPI or Aussie inflation growth might be a bit sticky to the upside. That's why the RBA has not ruled out further rate, has not ruled out pausing on rate hikes. We might even see further rate hikes, right? But it's not rate hikes. We'll talk about it into next week because we do have the RBA rates decision next week. But this is going to be quite crucial. If tomorrow morning we do see this break above 6.8, maybe into the 6-7% level, then we're going to see the Aussie dollar possibly see a lot of volatility, possibly going to see more or an increased likelihood for the RBA to hike rates further. Okay, so that's something you have to watch out for on the Aussie front tomorrow morning, 9:30 GMT plus 8. I think that if it does come out at 7%, I'm thinking that if it does come out at 7%, we might see the Aussie dollar shoot to the upside. We'll look at that on the charts shortly. And then tomorrow night, 9:30 GMT plus 8, we do have the whole bunch of central bankers speaking at the ECB forum, but I'll tell you more about that tomorrow during our session. Okay, so for now, looks like it might be relatively straightforward in terms of what to trade or what possible, no big surprises there. So let's look at the charts. So that's the dollar index. This is dollar index. What I'll do as well is I will have a summary sheet here. Today is the 27th of June. So I'll type up a bit of a summary there just so that you guys get a overview of what we anticipate could happen. Right? I will maintain this view. So yesterday we said that for the dollar index below 102.60, it could trade down to that 102 support level. It's set right there. So this was us right here at 3 p.m. yesterday. It just bounced around this level, didn't do anything, struggled to break below 102.6. And then now it's breaking down, right? It's even broken below 102.5, 102.5. So I do think that we're likely to see this dollar index trade down towards this support level of 102. So I'll maintain this view and say that below 102.5 could trade down to 102 support level. Okay, makes sense. So that's relatively straightforward, maintaining that same view. Then we'll look at the Kiwi dollar, right? As the dollar index drops, or as the dollar weakens, we're going to see this continue, the Kiwi dollar continue to push to the upside. Yesterday, we were at this point, right? We were saying that it could come down. I was looking for it to come down to test the support before bouncing up. It didn't do that. In fact, it actually just slowly went up and then now continued to the upside. Okay, so I'll take that away. And I'll take this away as well. Okay, because it's broken our levels already. So right now on the Kiwi dollar, you'll see that it is within that range, that resistance level at 0.6245, support level at 0.6105, almost 0.6130. Okay, so it's right in the middle. I do think that we're going to see, especially anticipating that dollar weakness continue, we are going to see this, likely to see this trade up towards that 6245 level. But the only thing I don't like is that it is right in the middle of that support and resistance level. Okay, because if you did look to buy in now, if you're not in a trade and if you did look to buy in now, your take profit will be about 40 pips. Right? You think would it be better to take? Your take profit will be about 40 pips, and the problem here would be that where would your stop loss be? Right? Your stop loss ideally will be about there, or if you had it about there, 25 to 40, that could work, but it could also within the hour might trade back down before pushing back up. So I'll be a bit more careful here on the Kiwi dollar, and you'll also see that on the shorter term channel, it is approaching that top of that channel, right? Just from Friday's level, pushing to the upside, is tested, pushed up, came back down. Now it is approaching the top of the channel. What might happen, a revision of this, is that it could come down briefly. So test, come down briefly before pushing back up again, right? Test, come down briefly before pushing back up, but overall still looking to the upside. So if you're looking at this, you're thinking what to do. I would say that the safer option would be to look at do this, right? So it's coming to the 78.6 level, which is 0.62 round number level as well. So it's likely to retrace. I think that it could retrace back down. What could happen? Yep, like that. You see that 23 right there. Okay, so I'll take all of that away. Think that you could be looking. If you miss this trade, it's fine. There are a lot of other opportunities there. 618, 6190. Stop loss, oops, 6190. Stop loss maybe about 20 pips. Take profit, you could go to about 50 pips to the upside. So we are looking for it to come back down, bounce before pushing back up. Okay, if it does trade up, then you might be scalping it, you might be doing short-term trades, but that'll be your trade. Okay, shorter-term trade setup. Hey Lydia, how are you doing? I will do pound yen and euro yen, so no worries. Okay, so 6190. So Kiwi dollar 6190. Stop loss was 20. Take profit was 50. 20. Take profit would be about 50 pips. Okay, so remember yesterday we were just talking about watch at 6190. We anticipate that at 6190 it might retrace, which is the same thing that we're looking at now. Okay, so we're looking for it to come, bounce back up, 6190, might retrace while pushing up. Yeah, I will get to pound yen and euro yen. I actually just wrote analysis on the pound yen as well, so that's going to be interesting. Aussie dollar is interesting. Okay, yesterday we were looking at a divergence between the correlation between the Aussie and the Kiwi. We were looking at Kiwi to the upside, Aussie to the downside, but that did not trigger, so that did not work out. What's happened now on the Aussie is that you see that big downward trend line, pushing prices to the downside. It formed a little bit of a base at 6666, 4 sixes. Okay, let me just put a line there. It's a bad omen. right? Formed a bit of a base there, bounced back up, tested. Looks like it came very close to that trend line, testing that trend line, looking like it might push back down. So again, a divergence between that correlation of the Kiwi and the Aussie dollar. Um, as much as we're expecting the dollar index to drop, if it doesn't, then you might be looking at, that level, that consolidation, very brief consolidation there on the Aussie dollar. You could be looking, I think it'll be a bit later on. 0.67. I would say if it breaks out of this, area, then you might be looking for a selling opportunity. 6705, stop loss 25, take profit 40, 30, 40 pips to the downside. Not a fantastic trade, right? I do think that it might come down, but not a fantastic trade. More shorter term kind of trade, right? Maintaining the downtrend. Yes, Basil. It is maintaining the downtrend. You could be looking for that 25 pip stop loss, 70 pip take profit, with watching out at 6666. I like this a lot better. So let's do that. Sell down from 6705. 6705. Wait, what am I doing? Okay. Stop loss 25 pips. Take profit 70 pips. And then we'll watch out at 0.6666. How about that? Again, remember, don't get into both trades, because anticipating that downside on the Aussie, looking at the Kiwi pushing down, you're not going to buy the Kiwi and sell the Aussie. One of it's going to work, the other's not going to work. So you want to make sure that wait for the setup to develop. Okay, is this a trade we want to take immediately? No, I would not advise taking a trade immediately. I would, on the Aussie, I would say look for it to close, especially on H1 time frame. Look for it to close out of this area, especially below or at or below 0.6705 before looking to get into the trade. Okay, it is approaching, but don't rush into it. Yen, I was looking. There is a lot of chatter. Can you please call out entry? I'd like to write it. It's all there. So the entries are all there. You can write that as well. Okay. There is a lot of chatter on coming from the Bank of Japan about, where was it? Will respond if FX move become excessive. They are looking at, sharp moves are one-sided because the US yen is again on that upward move, right? Bank of Japan, will it intervene at 145? The last time the Bank of Japan intervened was around that 145 level as well. Okay, let me see if I can do this quickly. Let me find out. I'll try and do this quickly. Usually when I try and do it quickly, I end up doing it slower. So, intervention, so you can see we're going to continue to diverge. That's the yen intervention there. Bank of Japan yen intervention. Okay, so I'll put this link up for you guys. You can go check it out. Right, so the last time it got to that 150, then 148, so 152, we saw the intervention come around. Right now, the yen is at 143.50. Right? The question everyone's asking is, will it intervene, or will the Bank of Japan intervene at 145? Which looks like we're going to see continual upside on the yen before possible intervention. So I'm not looking at this right now. Take that away. Okay, we could even leave that there. If the dollar does weaken, if the dollar index does weaken to the downside, then that might push this down. And it might be healthy. It might be healthy for the yen to see a little bit of a stronger retrace, something similar like that or like that, right? What we saw last week, the 22nd of June, coming down, test that trend line. So what I'll be looking for here is possibly a test, a bounce, and a breakthrough. Okay, a test and a bounce on a breakthrough. 144 is very close. It's right now at 143.50. It's only about 50 pips away. I would say be very patient. Let's wait for it. Might not be now, but it's at above 144. You could be looking at a tight stop loss, 30 pip stop loss, take profit, almost 100 pips to the upside at that 145 region. Yeah, we haven't seen too much premium on the yen, but looking for that dollar weakness to pull it back down a little bit. Look for that retracement, slightly test that trend line before bouncing back up. Okay, so this is a bit of a longer term watch list. I would say buy above 144, stop loss at about 30, take profit about 100, which is that 145 level. Okay, so also remember that yes, this is on the watch list. It's not something that I think is going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen straight away today, but usually when I say that, it does happen. So just watch this. I am looking at this. I'll possibly put this here. I'll be ready. I'll be watching and ready if it does happen to the upside, right? Towards that 145 level. Not saying that the Bank of Japan will definitely intervene at that point, but we're just watching at 145. It's not worth taking crazy risk at 145 to gamble for the upside. Okay, and it looks nice with a possible retracement there. Okay, then onto the pound dollar. Right, we were just talking about this at the start of the session, where I thought that we might see this push up and trade, with trigger a trade to the upside, but it hasn't done that. Pound dollar retracing, despite the dollar still trading to the downside with no major news. Most banks exploring Russia exit strategies. Nothing coming from the UK side. I'm a little bit surprised that it's coming back down. It is a bit of that range, right? It is within that range. So what could happen here is that we might see this come back down, test, and bounce back up. Might see this come back down, test, and bounce back up. I would like to see that, especially given that we've seen it happen once, twice, 3 times there. Right, it's held that support for quite a long time now. So what I'll be looking for here, a lot of patience, is above 1.27. So 1.2710, just to be as an arbitrary number. Take profit about 50 pips. Stop loss can be very tight here, 20 pips, because we know that move it slightly lower, so maybe 25 pips for that, for it to trade within that range. Okay, so I like that one a lot. On the pound dollar, 1.2710, stop loss maybe 25 pips, take profit was 55. Hey Robbie, how you doing? A very small move, would we take it to the top of the range? I wouldn't be looking for it to the top. I would say that you could, what would happen, how I would play this is that if it does come down, test, and I do trigger that trade, as it comes up, right, as it comes up towards this level here at 1.2770, if the momentum looks strong, if we do see that dollar weakening, then you might drag that take profit up, and then you might secure your some profits as well, and then just let it run. Okay, but if not, then you could just leave it there, let it hit, see what happens next, because it could very well just hit and then come back down again. Okay, so with that, pound dollars done. Then we'll look at so we've done the US yen, anticipating for this to push to the upside. The pound dollar looking like it's going to retrace before maybe pushing back up again. Then looking at the pound yen. Right, I was highlighting this out to you guys in the group, where I was looking at the pound yen. Oops. And 183 was a very key number that I was looking for. Right, I'm looking for the pound yen to break above 183. We're going to potentially see big upside on the pound yen. It has been climbing very strongly, right? Show it to you on the daily time frame here. Right, big upside. The last time we saw this level was back in 2015. Right, back in 2015. The next big level at 188.60. Right, so if think that if it does break above this 183 level, we might see the pound yen test 183, which is a big move to the upside. But you can see right now, I think BL was asking when I said I'm watching the pound yen, it's going to get interesting, or it's being interesting. He said, are you looking to buy or sell? I said, well, following the trend, I'm looking to buy it up. Right? I would be looking to buy it up if it breaks above 183. However, look at that almost overextension of the pound yen. If we look at the RSI, you can see that it is tracing back down a little bit. So we might see a retracement, a brief retracement before the continuation to the upside. Might come down to about that level there at 182, about there, in this range of, I would say this range, 182.30, 182.10, could come back down, retrace, and then push back up again. I would like to see a clear break, like to see it sit there and then push and buy it up. But I think healthier for it to retrace before trading up. Okay, so pound yen, I would say that could come back down here before pushing back up, or I'm looking for it to break above 183 towards I wouldn't say 188 would be should be a target level for you, right? Maybe 185 would be a first target. Then after that, you could continue to the upside. It is overextension. I think that we're going to see a lot of a choppy price action here. It's going to break, retrace, before continuation. Big round number, historic levels. We're going to see a lot of retracements, a lot of false breaks as well. So just watch out for this. Hope I answered your question there, Lydia, about the pound yen for now. So we'll add that in. Pound yen. We'll say that we're looking to buy above 183 or after retracement at 182.30. 182.30. I'm interested to swing move this all the way to 187. Hey, I'm interested in looking at it to go to 187 as well, especially if I'm on the trade. I hope it doesn't move when I'm not watching. I do want to get into that trade. Okay, it is retracing quite strongly, so might come back down before pushing up. Then, looking at the euro dollar. Thanks, Karma. Look, we can look at the euro pound as well, so I'll add that on. Euro dollar, we were looking at it within this range. I think it's safe to take this away. Looking for it to push up. If you haven't got into this trade already, then look, just briefly looking at how the dollar is retracing a little bit right now. I would say that we might see the euro dollar retrace back. So I'll hold this view. I'll maintain this view on the euro dollar. I think that it could come back down, test, and then push back up. Right? I'll maintain this view and say that 109 dot, what did I say yesterday? I'm not looking to sell it down. 109.25, 1.0925. Stop loss 30 pips, could be even tighter, 25 pips. Take profit 70 pips, 75 pips to the upside. I think that would be fair. Yeah. If it doesn't break, if it doesn't retrace, then let's see. Okay, this is what we could do. I would say that if the euro dollar doesn't retrace, you could be looking at 109.50. Take profit 50 pips. This one, I would put it just below that 61.8. About 20 pips there. Right? It wouldn't make sense to put it down there. A 1:1 still okay, but I would like to keep it about 20 pips. Right in the middle, we do have that 61.8. Provide a little bit of a support there for that upward trade. Hey Samuel, I'm doing well. How are you doing? Okay, so let's do that. On the euro dollar, not looking for that breakout opportunity. We're looking to buy 1.25, 25 pip. Stop loss about, take profit about 70, or we could be looking to buy at 1.0950. Stop loss about 20, take profit about 50 pips outside. Right, so this is all coming to the point of whether it will retrace or whether it's going to continue pushing to the upside. Then with that said about the euro dollar, then looking at the euro pound, again, very similar view to what we saw on the pound yen. You can see that it is pushing up, right? Big continuation to the upside there. That trend line doesn't work. Well, almost best fit. Still looking for the upside. looks like it's got more chance to break that key resistance. So at about 157, it tested and retraced. If it does break above 157, then we are also back into even further back. So this is into historic levels, weekly chart, right? This point breaking above the next big swing level, the putting a couple of levels there, 165. I would say be very careful, right? Be very careful on the euro yen. Still anticipating the upside move if it breaks above 157, but you can see that it's quite clear skies to the top. So what you might want to do is that if you do buy this up, right? So about 157.40, for example, you want to just keep dragging your, if you do get into this, then you want to drag your take profit higher as it moves up, move your stop loss to break even, secure profits that way. So you could ride this up, but it does need to break above 157 first. Okay. Good. Fantastic. How is everyone else? All my guys on YouTube is super quiet. Hope I'm making sense. I hope it's all good for you guys. Let me know. Put a thumbs up, put a good, put an okay. Let me know that I haven't lost you guys. You're all still there. All right. Thanks, BL. All righty, cool. So euro yen's done. Then, since we looked at the pound dollar and the pound and the euro dollar, then looking at the euro pound, I haven't got any lines here. But what you notice is that as the pound dollar was dropping, inverse relationship with the euro pound, you can see this push up a little bit. Euro dollar still trying to push up. So we could anticipate that the euro pound is going to push to the upside. I think that looking at this big support level here, big resistance level here, it is right in the middle. There is a bit of a level right there at 0.8590. So if you really had to, I would prefer buying the euro dollar up. But if this does break above, close above that 8590 level, then you could be looking for further upside, maybe 40 pips up, stop loss 20 pips, 1 to 2 to the upside. I think it's going to remain within this range. I would prefer the other pairs rather than fuss too much on the euro pound. Also because you notice that the euro pound has a lot of tails and spikes, so it does get a lot more tricky to trade. Okay, so I would setup is there, possible setup is there, but I would still prefer the other pairs. Okay, great. Thanks, Bell. I appreciate that. Thank you, Haida. Thanks, Yurifi. Fantastic. Okay, how do you get an instrument name and time frame and display? This watermark, get into the settings. I'll do that another time. I'll show you guys that another time. Okay. Then the US Swiss franc, dollar weakness, right? Dollar weakness still continuing to renew dollar weakness now pushing back down. So that's going to just mean that we're going to see the US Swiss franc or the Swiss continue back down to that 0.89 support level, right? Same, maintaining that view, going to come down to 0.89. Is it going to break? Could it break? I think that it would be a bit unlikely. I think it would be a bit unlikely. If it does break, maybe we'll see 8824. There was, I think I was posting that in the group, that the SNB, the Swiss National Bank, was looking at or highlight or indicating further potential for rate hikes. That's why we might see some strength on the Swiss franc. So what I'll be looking for, very similar to yesterday's idea, is that you could be looking for it to trade down before looking to do a short-term, very short-term buy to the upside. It's so short-term, maximum 40 pips. Take profit at about 45 pips at the most. Stop loss can be very tight, no more than 20 pips, right? 40, almost 50 pips, but no more than 20 pips on the stop loss. I'm just looking for it to come down, bounce off, and buy it up. Could be looking at 8915, stop loss 20, take profit 50. Okay, okay, there we go. Buy 0.8915. This is a very smallish kind of trade. Stop loss less than less than 20. That's greater. Well, 20. Yeah, 20 and take profit at 50. Got confused with my less than greater than. Profit 50. There we go. Okay. Good. Then, yes. So just wait for it coming down. Look for it to bounce back up. Come down, bounce. You could be looking for a short-term trade back up. Take this away. Or rather, I'll leave it up here as a near-term resistance. Then the US CAD. So this is where it gets interesting for the US CAD, because we do, again, remember that we do have the CPI data to be released. That's what we saw the last time round when it got released. Even if it does show a drop in CPI, we saw a big drop in the US CAD before a retracement back up. So I would actually suggest, now that it's broken this level, this is now a resistance. Okay, taking that away, that did not trigger yesterday. Check my levels. The US okay. Checking right here, right there, big level here. Okay. And another one about right there. I know it's a little bit small, just bear with me for now. Okay, then we go back to the H1 time frame, look into current. What we might see, so what I'll be looking for here is that the US CAD, if it does release, that it could drop before bouncing back up. Could drop before bouncing back up. So what I'll be looking for is a move like that. Okay, so you could be looking for buying opportunities at 1.3080. take profit 50, 60 pips, stop loss tight at about 20. Again, remember that there is a news to be released tonight. There is a news to be released tonight. So you don't want to do this before the news. You want to do this right after, not right after. You want to do this after the news, especially you want to see it test and bounce before you do get into a trade. It might be a setup, but not a tradable setup. What I mean by that is you might see it test, and then the next moment it bounces straight back up. So we are looking for that price movement, but just watch out. You might not be able to get into a trade there. Okay, so I'll be looking, or you could be setting orders. You could be setting buy limits here at 1.3080. Stop loss 25 pips, take profit 55 pips. Okay, we'll be looking to buy 1.3080, stop loss 25, profit. Okay, there is CPI news pending. Cool. Just be careful then later, but we'll see how it goes. Yes, for sure. It is a big news tonight. Thanks for that, Christina. Lydia with the question on, I'm wondering when US yen falls due to dollar weakness, do you think that euro and pound yen would fall as well or go up as the euro dollar and pound dollar would? Very good question. I'll show you this. So I was just writing this up. Let me just do a quick check with the one minute. Excellent. Okay, not up yet. All right, so I'll share with you the articles that I wrote when it's up, when it's being published. I do think that, if I show you the US yen on the daily time frame, where it started to push up was on the 20, what was it, 24th of, thereabouts, the 20 something of March, the end of March, where we saw the yen pushing to the upside, right? And if you look at the dollar index on the same period, on the 24th of March, dollar index was actually weakening, right? Dollar index was actually weakening. So we actually saw dollar weakening a little bit. Where is it? 4th of March there. Dollar weakening, yen pushing to the upside. And yet, when we look at the pound dollar on the 24th of March period, pushing up. Then after that, you look at the pound yen at the same period, 24th of March, also pushing up. So the pound yen, just to answer your question there, Lydia, the pound yen, euro yen does tend to follow the direction of the yen, and also the pound dollar, the euro dollar. Let's show you the euro dollar here on the 24th of March. 23rd, 24th, it does push up, and that's why we saw the yen, pound yen, the euro yen pushing to the upside, right? Following the yen, following the pound dollar and the euro dollar up. Hope I answered your question there. It was a bit of a roundabout explanation, but I hope I answered your question there regarding the correlation on the pound yen and euro yen. Okay, cool. Then everyone's been asking, what about gold? What about gold? Here we are on gold. Yesterday we were at this point. About this point, I said I was so keen on this, right? I was during the session 3 p.m. yesterday. I said, hey, we're looking for it to test and turn down. It came as high as the Friday high before it reversed back down. So came back down, didn't go down too much, actually stayed within that range. Within that range. I know someone was just saying that he'll be looking to sell gold at 1940. That's my resistance level there. If it does get to that point, I think it would be a great place to sell down on gold. So if this comes up to this level here, I think it'd be a great place to sell down. However, I think that we're likely to not see too much activity on gold for now. Right? It is in that level, and then we do have a little bit of that happening. Right? So it's going to consolidate within this range. I think that if I zoom right out, you'll see, right, that downward pressure range, then now pushing back down. I think that unlikely that we're going to see this push strongly to the upside before turning back down. So what I would say is that I might be looking for, right, it's already happened twice. It's already done it. Take that away. It's already done it once here, twice here. It might come up briefly before turning back down again. Might be a false break before turning back down, or either that or I'll be looking for it to break from this trend line to the downside. So I would be looking to sell down from 1932 or 1921, 1920, 1922, right? So this level here or this level here, looking for a break, turn down, or a break and turn down. Still looking for the downside on gold. All right. Hope that answers your question. So gold, looking for sell down from 1932 or 1922. It all depends on how the price action is going to move in the meantime. Okay. Do you think that the Russia event might affect euro in the near term? I thought it would, but it doesn't seem to have. And also because it was something that happened very quickly and then didn't happen, like almost didn't happen. So might not have that impact that we were expecting. Right? So I think that there is a lot more developments to happen, a lot more things to develop before we're going to see the Russian events or the events in Russia take an impact on the euro dollar or on the market in general. All right, so levels. Oh, lost my thing. Okay, I'll do that later. All right, so with that said, I hope you had a good session. Do help me out. Click that like and subscribe button, that rocket ship button on TradingView, that clapping button on Trading Live, and I will see you all again. Firstly, in the trading community, and also tomorrow, 3 p.m. GMT +8, same time, same place. So for now, trade well, trade safe, take care, bye bye.